It was such an emotional day in court here. We heard from Morgan Harrington's dad, who talked about how hard all of this has been since his daughter was murdered in 2009. Really not much left, but things are actually looking a lot better than they were a couple of hours ago at high tide. The water was actually touching this fence here. Yeah, well, we just got this information in from police, so bear with me. I kind of want to walk you through this. We now know that the man that was shot and killed by a police officer here on Chesapeake Boulevard is 25-year-old Tyree Privet. Williams was actually Chastity's ex-boyfriend. They say last night he broke in through this window here in the house. Well, we have learned that Cameron Dooley, the family's oldest son, killed his entire family and then turned the gun on himself. This is the second time Matasu has been in trouble for something like this. The most recent was here at this Panera Bread, where he was caught using his phone to look up the skirt of a young girl. Guys, well, we just got word that there is another tornado warning in effect here, and you know, I can tell you that the wind has really started to pick up again here in Waverly. Take a look here at this damage. We are back in downtown right now in Waverly, and I mean, you can see the bricks and the wood. He was in the middle of teaching class when a masked man stormed into the classroom and pushed him to the ground. I'll be honest with you, I was here this morning, so I definitely get it. And I want you to take a look over here. This is Pandora. It is still completely packed. First of all, let me tell you, we are having a blast out here, and like you said, you know, Michelle Obama is supposed to be speaking tonight, but this is an event with a pretty impressive celebrity lineup. Police say Woodley hit the victim once, then backed over him again before he fled the scene. They are desperate for some answers. They want to know what happened to their son. He was shot and killed here along Killam Avenue and 35th Street 2 weeks ago. Still, no one has been arrested for the crime.
Our town doesn't have very many tragedies, and this is certainly one. You see the flag flying at half-staff already. I mean, that's kind of our town.
The quiet town of Urbana, touched by tragedy.
It's a shocking, devastatingly sad day for everybody.
Flames engulfed Dozier's Marina overnight, destroying more than 20 boats.
And there's fuel tanks exploding, sailboats are on fire.
And claiming the lives of 2 people.
Currently, we do have 2 confirmed fatalities, and it's an ongoing criminal investigation.
Friends say the victims, a husband and wife, were sleeping on the boat when the fire broke out. A fire investigators say may be arson.
They were wonderful people, experienced boaters. I just can't even imagine that somebody would want to cause this kind of devastation. It's just unbelievable.
The docks at this marina now housing nothing but memories. But even in the face of adversity,
it's hard to know when I was watching that this morning that someone was losing their life.
Neighbors say Urbana will bounce back.
Once the shock wears off, we're a pretty resilient little town.
My angels and my butterflies and all the good things.
Her grandchildren?
Yep, I have my eyes, blue eyes.
And memories.
She loved to dance. She loves music.
That is all Jane Barham has left of her daughter.
I'm still numb. It's really, I mean, it might be 4.5 months, 5 months, but I'm numb.
Katie Barham's boyfriend reported her missing when she didn't come back from doing laundry. Her remains were found in June in a wooded area just blocks from her Portsmouth home. A medical examiner wasn't able to tell how the young mother died and ruled her death undetermined.
Yes, Mrs. Barham, she says, I just want you to know that it's inconclusive. And honey, I'm sorry, but we don't have no determination of what happened, where and how she died.
Months have passed and no one has been charged.
I don't wish anybody to be in my shoes. I really don't. And I know there's plenty that are.
Including the family of Angelica Hadsel. She was the Longwood University student whose body was found behind an abandoned home in Southampton County in April. We know she died from a heroin overdose, but her manner of death is also undetermined. So far, no one has been charged in her death either.
It's just agonizing on families not to have who did this to their loved one determined.
Harvey Bryant is the former top prosecutor in Virginia Beach. He knows firsthand how tough it can be to bring charges in undetermined death cases.
We're going to have to prove this case and convince a judge or a jury beyond a reasonable doubt that this defendant is responsible for this person's death, even though we don't know exactly how that occurred.
Bryant says circumstantial evidence is key in these instances. Something as small as a fingerprint or even a cell phone ping can help.
How can we tie some other human being to her death?
That's the case with Breanna Armstrong. Her remains were found dismembered in the Dismal Swamp a month after she vanished. Her manner of death is also undetermined, but prosecutors believe they have enough other evidence to charge Justin Cornell with murder. He's been in jail since May.
You hate as a prosecutor to bring a case unless you have, at least I always did, a substantial likelihood of a conviction. But that doesn't mean you turn away from the difficult cases to prove.
Jane Barham clings to the hope someone out there will bring her closure.
That it would be easier for me to go, okay, now I know what happened, and now I can lay you to rest.
Until then, she relies on her faith to get her through each day. Katie's ashes are spread with her brothers in Florida. He was murdered in 2001.
They're both together, and they're up there with the angels.
Even with her faith, Barham doesn't want to face her biggest fear.
That I will never have peace. That it will eat me up until the day I die.
Now, according to the medical examiner's office, in 2014, about 3% of all deaths in the state were ruled undetermined. As for our three cases, Justin Cornell is charged with Breanna Armstrong's murder. Today, he waived his preliminary hearing. That case will go to a grand jury next month. A.J. Hatzel's adoptive father, Wesley Hatzel, pled guilty to charges unrelated to her death last week. There are still no leads in the case of Katie Barham. Marcella Robertson, 13 News Now.
It's horrific.
Sometimes in tragedy,
these people have lost a lot, and I have a lot to give.
we see the best in people.
It really has brought the community together.
That's fantastic.
This picture-perfect sky, a far cry from the violent tornado that ripped through Waverly Wednesday.
Well, it's a little rough now, but it's all going to get cleaned up.
From chopping wood, handing out water
and sandwiches,
even raking away debris. As fast as this storm moved out, volunteers are moving in.
You don't expect so many people to come out to help. And it's, you don't know these people.
Keisha Giffen feels blessed.
They are topping the roof for me because it's a couple holes up there. When I looked at it and then I heard of the deaths, it's just, it can be repaired.
Can you hand me a short board, fellas?
Repairs that are being done by complete strangers.
Makes much more sense to be here helping the others, maybe keep a couple tears away. They're going to come back. Yeah, absolutely.